Hi everyone, this is Theo from puckerblocks.com. Today I'm going to show you how to pick or choose a watercolor box. Now this video is made for beginners, those who are just starting out with watercolors and are trying to figure out which supplies to get. So I would recommend you to get a watercolor box, a simple portable watercolor box, something like this, and also a portable brush. So this video will go through the different brands of watercolor that are out there, and also the different palette boxes that are available that you can choose from, whether you want to buy them as a set or you want to buy them empty but add in your own colors later. And we are going to be talking about tubes versus pens, watercolor tubes versus pen. For example, watercolor comes in either the tube form or in the pen form, the hardened cake type of form. So we're going to talk about that as well, and also on the quality of the watercolor, the professional grade versus the student grade, which is cheaper. And finally we'll talk about the price. So let's talk about the first thing on the menu. It is the brand. Okay, there are a lot of watercolor brands out there. I think the more popular ones would be Windsor Newton, Daniel Smith, Van Gogh. I think there are also. They are also like brands that I discovered recently. This one is Daniel Smith, for example. This one is what's this? Mission Gold Class Mission. Yeah, Gold Class Mission. Then they have the M. Graham watercolor, which this one is quite good as well. Of course, this one was something I discovered recently. This one is called Core, Q-O-R, but it's pronounced as Core. So there are a lot of different brands out there: Daniel Smith, Windsor Newton, whatever. Watercolor brands is a personal preference. Personally, for me, I've used as you can see that I've a lot of brands. I also tried out a lot of brands. The difference is very subtle. The brand selection for different artists, some people will prefer Lucas watercolors, for example. I prefer personally myself Winsor Newton and Daniel Smith, but that's because I started out with those two brands. Other artists would like different brands, and this is a totally personal preference. So there are some subtleties across different brands. Some brands would have more variety. For example, some brands would be noted for their vibrancy. Some would have a very huge range of colors. Some brands like Kremer Pigments, I like granulations in their paints, for example. So, but all these differences between watercolor brands are only visible to you when you have two brands to compare. If you are just going out to pick a single brand, it doesn't really matter much. Yeah, so just pick whatever brand that is available to you in your art store or online store. And the one thing I want to talk about also is when you are just starting out, do not spend too much money on watercolors. You can just buy a simple box set will do. Don't buy like too many brands. Many of these box sets, they actually come they come with a predetermined number of pens inside, so you are already good to start when you buy a box set like this. For example, actually most of the pens I have used, they come with pens, but for example this one I refilled with my own watercolor. So what I'm trying to say is, when you're starting out, don't spend so much money. I mean, you may not know that you like watercolors, so and some of these sets are not very cheap, like 70, 80 onwards, unless you're going to buy a student grade palette box, something like this, those white boxes. Those would be like US $20 or up to US $30. Those will be cheap. So if you are starting out, if you may want to try those student ones. But if you are serious about watercolors, then I would say go ahead and just get the artist quality ones first. So that is something to note. So let's take a look at the different color watercolor palette boxes that I have. These are just some of the selection, the more popular boxes. They are sold separately sometimes. For example, this one is sold separately. You may notice that there is a brand here that called what's this, Rembrandt. But this is actually a very generic box that is sold at most art stores, I think. I bought this as a empty box, but it comes stamped with Rembrandt. I know for a fact that there are a lot of other brands that use this similar design box as well. For example, we have this China brand called Pigments. Yeah, you can see that the design is actually the same, just that the color is different. The box design is almost the same. So for this particular box, I like it because it is very compact. It has 3 mixing wells. So some palette boxes have only 2 mixing wells. So it would be good to buy one with 3 mixing wells because it will give you more compartments to mix your watercolors so that they don't mix together when you don't want them to. So this is a nice box. You can buy this empty, or you can buy this like it would put in a number of fixed pens inside. You can buy them as a set as well, but for this one I bought this as an empty watercolor box, and then I fill in the paints myself. So how do I fill in the paints myself? It's because these little things, you see, these are called a half pans. So basically these half pans would I bought quite a lot because some are for my friends. So basically you just put them into the slots here, and then you squeeze basically the tube watercolors into the half pan. So that's quite an economic way to do watercolors. But you can also buy them as a set. For example, Schmincke or the French brand Sennelier. Yeah, they sell this type of box sets with colors, either 12 colors or 24 colors. Now the one with 24 colors would be a longer box. So when you're starting out, just get the 12 colors. If you need more colors, then you can add them in the future. But yep, that's the one I want to say. So each of these pens, actually, these are called half pens. And I think I have a full pen as well somewhere. Let me show you. Oops. Okay, this is a full pen size. I'm not sure if you can see properly, but this is about twice the size of the half pen. Now each half pen is about 2 ml. So if you are going to be buying a tube like this is a medium sized tube. I think watercolors, they come in either 7 ml or 9 ml. This one is let me see. This one is a 5 ml tube. This one is 7 ml tube. So 7. I think the 5 ml will be the 5 and 7 ml will be the more typical small sizes. Then they have the medium sizes. This is 15 ml, and then they have the large size, which comes in, I think, 37 ml. I do not use them. But anyway, the small tubes or the medium tubes, you can squeeze them into these pens. These pens, the capacity is about 2 ml. So if you have a 5 ml tube, you can fill this pen about 2-3 times. So it's quite economic in the long run. So this is one of the more common boxes. The other box I want to show you is the plastic boxes. This is one from Windsor Newton. This one is one that I sort of like because it's plastic, it's lightweight. It is a bit lighter than the metal one. And this one is from Daler-Rowney. These are student brand watercolors, but I've already taken out all the colors because the quality for student brands, they are not as good as professional quality, because they use quite a lot of fillers mixed with pigment to give you the color. So in professional tubes, they use less of the fillers and they give you more of the pigment. So that is why I stopped using student grade watercolors. This one is from Dale Rowley. There is one exception though. Windsor Newton, they are student line of watercolors that is called Cotman. So Cotman, the series is actually quite good. And if you're a student, you don't want to spend too much, or you don't want to spend too much money, you can get the Windsor Newton Cotman series. This one is from the Cotman series, but make sure that you see the word Cotman when you're buying the stuff, because I know that there are Windsor Newton does sell this box with professional watercolors. So you can either buy this box sets with professional watercolors or with student grade watercolors. So this would be the other box. And the other boxes that I have would be these two. These are from Windsor Newton. Again, these are very generic boxes. They are just stamped with Windsor Newton here. There are other brands, watercolor brands, that stamp their own names here, but this is really a generic boxes. You can also buy this box without the brand itself. Also buy this box empty. But I bought this one as a set. So this one, by the way, all the reviews for all the individual boxes and the colors will be done separately. So this is just to give you an overview of all the things that you might look out for. This one is actually a 16 pen set, but in the middle row I can fit in 8 more pen sets. So this one has 3 mixing wells, flat for you to mix as well, and it comes with 16 sets. I've used up quite a lot, so I've also added my own personal colors as well into the middle row here. And to fill this set, you can just take out this flap here. Basically just remove, I think it's stuck here. Let me show you the other one. Okay, this is a bigger size box. This one is a 24 pen set. Oops. You can see that some of the pins actually stuck onto the flat mixing palette. So basically you will be able to lift up this thing here, and once you lift it up, you will be able to change basically the pens. They will be loose and you will be able to change them. Oops. So the difference between this set and the earlier set is, of course this one is bigger, but not just that. Well, let me try and fix this. It's quite a bit messy and sticky. So the difference between this set and just now this set is the space in the middle. So in this set you can fit in 8 more pens in the middle, but for this set you may see that I have put a lot of pens in the middle, but actually these are loose pens. You can just take them out. So this is actually more for you to put your brush in. This can accommodate basically a full-length size brush, so you can just put it here without the pens, of course. Then you can just close your watercolor box. These two boxes are quite expensive and heavy, but they are very durable. Actually, all the watercolor boxes are very durable. It just really depends on what type of boxes you like. I know there are artists who prefer one type of box versus another type, just simply because of the design. They can all be used to put watercolors, but they choose the more expensive boxes. This, I think I bought this one with 24 colors, and you should check out the review for these two boxes separately. These are called the Windsor Newton Heavyweight Enamelled palette. So they actually spray some sort of white paint here so that you can mix the colors. So let's see. Oh, then we have the small cube boxes as well. This one is not very good because it's also from Windsor Newton. This one comes with 12 pens, This one is not good because, I mean, it's good because it's compact, but it's not good because it only has a very limited amount of mixing area. So sometimes it gets a bit convenient. You have to constantly clean out the area here so that you can mix new color, and that's the problem with this one. At least with this box, you still have 3 separate compartments for mixing. So this one only has 2, and the mixing area is quite small as well. So if you really want this, just take note of that. There are also many variations of the boxes, so take a look at this one versus this one. These are about the same size, but this one comes with an integrated water bottle behind. So many of these standard size boxes or standard designs, they come with different modifications. So even like the Rembrandt, so-called Rembrandt box, this one, Schmincke also uses this box, Sennelier also uses this box, but there is a variation for this box as well. And you have this one. Oh, this one is a Schmincke one. I bought this one empty, so you can see that this one is much larger. So when you buy an empty watercolor box, it will come something like this. This will be the pen holders. This can be removed, so you can clean it separately. So basically, when you have the pen, you then put them, clip them here, and they will be in place. So if you want to go the empty box way and choose your own pigments, I have written a blog post about that in my blog as well. Just look for it. Just search under 12 colors to choose for a watercolor palette box. Okay, let's take a look at oh, the brushes, of course. Brushes are important, so because I mean, when you're going out with a compact set, I think it's going to rain. Is it? I'm not too sure. Anyway, when you're going out with a compact set, some of these boxes will fit, can fit brushes, and some cannot. This one, for example, can fit a. This one is a rosemary travel brush, so it can fit inside. Let me show you. Okay, so basically you can put it inside here and store it here. So I usually bring out one brush, size 6 brush, when I go out with my boxes. With my box, actually, I don't bring out so many boxes. So one brush here. This is a rosemary travel brush. The size is just right for that. And this is a Da Vinci Voyage Maestro brush. You can see that this one is not, you cannot put this into this box because this one is a bit too long. Oops. Then we have the, this is the Escoda brush. Escoda brush, oh, it fits just nicely as well. Escoda brushes, I mean, this is a size 6, I believe. Oh no, this is a size 8. So anything larger than size 8, you will not be able to fit into the box. So usually I bring travel brushes out. This is the Windsor Newton travel brush, a size 6. So this one can fit inside as well. Okay, so tubes versus pens. So what's the difference between tubes like this versus watercolor pens? Oops. Something dropped there. Versus pens like this. Now, again, the differences will only come about when you are testing them. It's very subtle difference, but the main difference is for tubes, they are easier to mix because they are already in the semi how should I say, you can squeeze them out easily and you can mix them easily for large paintings and washes. They dissolve much easily, so that would be the advantage of this. But they are less portable because sometimes you don't know how much you're going to squeeze, how much paint you're going to use, and you may squeeze out more than you need. So that's the downside of this. But if you are using it in the studio, it's okay because the extra paint that is squeezed out, you can use it the next day as well. Then we have these pens. These are sold separately as well, so you can refill them. And so the difference between these pens and the tubes is these are not as easy to dissolve, so sometimes you need to spray some water. I usually use the brush to put a drop or two of water onto the pens itself to wet them before I start mixing them. And because the pens are a bit small, so they are not as convenient for mixing big amount of paint. Yes, the pellets are just so small, so every time you will have to dip inside this small compartment, you can only pick up that amount of paint, that limited amount of paint, so it takes a while to mix a big wash. Let's say if you want to mix a lot of blue here. Now if you want to mix a lot of blue here, you just tap a brush and you just mix, tap, mix, tap, mix. But with the tube, you just have to squeeze out the blue, add some water, and you're good to go. And that's the main difference to me. In terms of color difference, personally, I do not see much color difference. Yeah, so if you are buying empty boxes, you might want to go with tubes because they are more economical. But if you are just buying a set with colors that already come in the set, well, it's okay. So student versus, I have mentioned student versus professional grade. If you are just starting out, you don't have much money, just get an empty box, just get maybe 3, 4, 5 colors will do. You don't have to get so many colors, you just have to get the primary colors, maybe 1 yellow, 2 reds and 2 blues. Or if you are really short on cash, 1 yellow, 1 red and 1 blue. And you can save up money to buy more paints in the future. Don't spend too much money on the watercolors. Things like Daniel Smith, I think each tube is about 10 to 15 US dollars. So the starting cost is a bit high, but this one is a 15 ml. So as I've mentioned, the small half pan, they can take 2 ml. So this one can fill the half pan 7 times. So even though the starting cost is a bit high, in the long run it's very economical because say I buy 3 tubes of watercolor for $45 US. I can use those 3 tubes if I don't paint regularly. Maybe I can use those 3 tubes for 2 years. So it's quite economic. And one thing you have to take note about watercolor tubes or stuff like that is to keep them properly so that they do not dry out. So I keep mine in a plastic sealed box like this. Inside I put those dry bags to absorb the water. But as long as you cap the tubes properly, it should be fine. Yeah, some of these tubes are from years ago. Because I have so many brands to use, I do not use them all. Buy and then keep them. I try to keep them properly. So there are also other very interesting watercolor products recently. I just want to show you, but I do not recommend that you buy them because they are not traditional watercolors. This one is a Windsor Newton watercolor markers. Basically they put watercolor pigment into the markers, so you use them like markers, which I don't know, it's watercolor, but it's not easy to use. So if you want to cover, like say you want to paint a big wash of a sky, you're going to use markers. It's not very efficient. Yeah, so it's just for I think sketchbook style. This one is a, what's this? Watercolor sticks. Yes, these are like crayons, watercolor sticks, pigment sticks. So they are actually like half pans, but they are in stick forms. So this will be quite fun. They even have some wrappers when you really use them to just draw. Again, this one I don't really recommend because this one is not convenient. I have not tested this yet, but it doesn't look as convenient. as a watercolor box. So yes, one thing to consider for those watercolor boxes is the accessories. Of course, you need the brush, and then you need a container to wash the brush. This is a container that I use. You can buy, you can bring any container you left over in your house. Just a very small container just to bring out your brush. So when you are bringing out your brush, your container and your watercolor set, you can see that it's really a very compact watercolor set to do. So what I think about cover them already. Most of the watercolors that I use are actually used for just watercolor sketches. So these are some of our watercolor sketches. Oh, one thing I want to talk about also is the selection of colors that come in those sets. Let me just show you some watercolor charts that I make. Okay, I went to find these watercolor charts that I make out of all the boxes that I've used, just to give you an idea. So this is a student grade. I think this is what Pabio. Yeah, this is the one from China. Versus, let's say this one is a Cotman. This is a Cotman student series from Windsor Newton. So you can see that the colors are pretty vibrant, even for a student brand, student grade watercolor. Versus this one is from China, this one Pabio. You can see that the colors are a bit less saturated. Yeah, less saturated. So one thing about the colors is when you're choosing a watercolor box, make sure that they come with, of course, the primary colors. I would recommend at least 2 yellows, 2 reds and 2 blues. It will be good to have 2 greens as well as 2 earth. So the other colors, I don't know. The rest of the colors really depends on you. It really depends on the set as well. So this one is a Sennelier. Sennelier, let's say, compared to the Cotman, you may see that the Sennelier has a bit more, how should I say, it can mix into the darker colors. That's because they included more darker colors, like I'm not sure. Oh, I forgot to write the colors. You should always write the colors of the colors you paint. But I think it's Payne's Gray, Burnt Umber and Burnt Sienna, and those are the darker colors that you can mix. So with the darker colors you can mix into really darks as well, as compared to this one. You can see that the colors are, although they are all very saturated, they are not very dark. So with the additional of the dark colors, you can mix into really darks. This one is Sennelier. Let's see what others we have. This one is Kremer Pigments. This one is one of my favorite as well. They sell in sets of I think 14 full pans colors. They come in different themes, but the standard set comes with 14 full pans at $80. So it's quite a good bargain, because for $80 usually with other brands they only give you half pans, and they will only give you 12 half pans. What I like about Sennelier is the colors have a sort of granulating property. Like everything granulates, even the yellows and the reds. This one comes with 14 colors, so you can mix quite a good range of colors just from that 14 colors. So something that I like. This one is Schmincke. Again, also you can mix very bright colors to dark colors. This one is quite a good brand as well. This one is Core Watercolor. You can see that this is a bit more pastel-like. The colors are although like a bit candy-like, and the darks are not as dark. So this is called watercolor. This is a tube set of 12. Then we have this one is one that I bought recently also. This one is Mission Gold watercolors. You can see that they included 3 rates. Now because they included 3 rates, you can see this portion here is more warm. This has a larger warm portion here as compared to maybe this one from Schmincke. Schmincke would have a smaller warm portion here. They have the greens here, and then they have the earth tone pastel like colors here. But for core, if you are buying the tube set, this is the warm set, this is the green, and these are the earth sets. So, and this is the Daniel Smith. This one is not a set, but I bought the tube separately. This is the colors that I personally use. I will make a separate video on these 12 colors, but when you pick the colors that you use, you can choose whether or not you want to include like all of them to be transparent, because I like to use them for watercolor sketches. I like my line work to show through, so I tend to pick only transparent watercolors. Now watercolors, they also come in opaque ones, so if you mix opaque with transparent, you are going to get something that is opaque. And I like transparent colors because they can mix easily. You can mix transparent with transparent, and you can get something that is still transparent, and your line work will be able to show through. And also you get to choose the colors that you want, because some colors that comes in the set are maybe some colors that you do not use. For example, Payne's gray or some gray tone colors that I don't use, or they come with some very strange green colors. So this is a empty box set, and I bought 12 tubes of Daniel Smith. Now I want to show you these charts because, like I said earlier, you're not going to see any differences unless you compare the charts. So if you are just buying out Daniel Smith, this will be the range of colors that you are going to use, and they will be used for maybe a few months. So if you are just buying Schmincke, this will be the colors that you are going to use, and you're not going to know the difference between this and Daniel Smith because you're not going to compare them. Anyway, all these brands, I have compared them, all the sets that I bought, they are all available in a separate review on my website, so you can just do a search for them. I will also provide the links to these individual reviews in the description below. I think I covered about everything. Oh yeah, if you're not going to be buying sets, if you're going to be buying individual colors, then I hope you can read up, find out more information on this website called handprint.com. Yes, I'll put the link below, but it's spelled as HANDPRINT. So handprint, yeah, handprint.com. They have a lot of useful pigment information that you can read about if you want to choose your own colors for a watercolor set. If you prefer books, I would say get this book. This one is out of print already. You might want to find this in a second-hand shop or something. This is a very good book that basically covers the type of pigments that you can choose, what the pigments mean, the pigments, these tubes. These colors actually they come with some sort of a color code. For example, this one is a permanent brown. Permanent brown is made out of this pigment called PBR25. And this one is a phthalo blue green shade. So green shade, that means there's this underlying hue behind the blue color. Phthalo blue is PB, the code for the pigment is PB15:3. So each of these colors, they have different pigment codes, and they use different pigments. So you will want to understand what these pigments mean. Get this book. This book is out of print already, but it's really very It really talks about the pigments, the colors, why colors react the way they are, and what those pigments are made of, and how to choose your 12 basic colors to mix all the other colors that you need. This the publisher is Walter Foster. This was printed in China August 2009. It's out of print, so if you want this to come back in print, I suggest you contact the publisher. Just let them know that this is a fantastic book. This is a book that I always recommend to people who are starting out with watercolors, because this is so informative. Email the publisher, tell them that this book should come back in print. The other book I want to mention is Confident Color. This one talks about, I would say, color in a general sense. They have a lot of examples. They have some color palettes and color schemes that you want to try, that you can experiment on. This is not as technical as the book just now, but this one really has a lot of nice examples on using colors. This one is still in print. This one is, the author is Nita Leyland, and it's published by Northlight Books. You can find this easily online. I'll put a link in the description below as well. Now if you want to go for something more theoretical, like things like, for example, during the sunset, the sun will cast this orange glow across the landscape, stuff like that. Why does it do that? What does that mean to the local color or whatever colors? And the mood described by the color, the feeling. So if you want those theoretical stuff, the more, I would say, intangible benefits to sketching and the mystery, the magic of sketching watercolors, this would be the book, Making Colors Sing. This is really very nice, by Jin Do-bi. This one is published by Watson Gattil. Very good book. Those are the 3 books that I recommend. And yes, so I think that's all for this review of watercolor and watercolor boxes. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comment section below. I will try to answer them. And you can also look out for the written transcript for this review that I will be posting on my website. I will be doing a separate write-up for all this information that I presented in this video, so that you can do a search for them on my website as well. So I think that's all for this, and thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to this channel, because I'll be posting more art product related videos in the future. Thanks.